Hello everyone. So today we are going to learn another basic concepts related to the bookkeeping and calculus. So today we start with the first concept, and that's the bad debts. Okay. So this concept of bad debts is related to the concept of debtors, which we already learned in the last lecture. Okay. So understand what is the bad debts. What is the meaning of bad debts? So bad debts means the amount which we cannot recover from the debtor. It is called as the bad debts. Okay, the amount is irrecoverable. We cannot recover from the debtors. Such kind of the amount is known as your bad debts. Okay, and in the last lecture we already learned one concept of debtor. So what is the debtor? Debtor is the person to whom we sold goods on credit. डेटर कौन होता है जिसे हम क्या करते हैं गुड्स क्रेडिट पे सोल्ड करते हैं, उसे हम लोग क्या कहते हैं डेटर्स. ओके, सो नाउ अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट इज द लिंक बिटवीन योर बैड डेट्स एंड द डेटर्स. ओके, सो विद द एग्जांपल यू कैन अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट इज द एक्चुअली मीनिंग ऑफ दिस वर्ड बैड डेट्स. ओके, सपोज टेक वन एग्जांपल. We sold goods of rupees 50,000 to Mr. Amar. What happens? We sold goods of rupees 50,000 to Mr. Amar on credit. Okay, what is the transaction? We sold goods of rupees 50,000 to Mr. Amar on credit. We sold goods of rupees 50,000 to Mr. Amar on credit. So what is the meaning of that? Now Mr. Amar is our debtor. Okay, Amar को अगर हम लोग 50,000 के goods credit पे sold कर रहे हैं तो क्या हुआ? Now Mr. Amar is our debtor. So now what happens next? We recovered rupees 40,000 from Mr. Amar. Okay, what happens next? 50,000 rupees की goods sold किए थे credit पे, but we received rupees 40,000 from Mr. Amar. Okay, out of 50,000 rupees 40,000 we recovered or received from Mr. Amar. What is the meaning of that? Out of rupees 50,000, 40,000 is the amount we received from Amar. Means what? Still this rupees 10,000 we have to receive from Mr. Amar. अगर Mr. Amar को 50,000 के गुड्स सोल्ड करने के बाद अगर हमें 40,000 रुपीस मिलते हैं, so what is the meaning of that? Still 10,000 रुपीस हमें मिलने चाहिए. लेकिन now what happens? Due to insolvency or due to XYZ any reason, now Mr. Amar is not able to pay this amount of rupees 10,000 to us. क्या हुआ? XYZ कौन से भी रीजन से वो इंसॉल्वेंट हुए or due to any financial crisis of Mr. Amar, now he is not in the position to pay that rupees 10,000 to us. मतलब अभी मिस्टर अमर ये 10,000 रुपीस जो है वो 10,000 रुपीस हमें पे ही नहीं कर सकते. मतलब हमें ये 10,000 रुपीस अभी मिल ही नहीं सकते. And what is the meaning of this word bad debts? What is the meaning of the bad debts? Bad debts is what? Bad debts is the amount which we cannot recover from the debtors. So Mr. Amar से हम लोग 10,000 रुपीस की अमाउंट रिकवर्ड ही नहीं कर सकते. So that's why this amount of rupees 10,000 which we cannot recover from Mr. Amar is called as a bad debt. Okay, समझ रहे हैं? Once again understand what is a bad debt? Bad debt is the amount which we cannot recover from our debtor. Okay, so that amount is called as a bad debts. Now we start with the next concept, and that's the solvent. That's the solvent. Okay, so now who is the solvent? Solvent is the person whose assets are more than its liability or whose assets are equal to its liability. Such kind of the person is known as the solvent person. Okay, or the solvent person is the person who is able to pay all his debts. Okay, once again understand who is the solvent person. Solvent person is a person whose assets are more than its liabilities or equal to his liabilities. And what is the meaning of that? Solvent person is a person who is in the position and he can pay all his debts. समझ रहे हैं? So to understand this concept, first we have to understand this concept of your assets and what is your liabilities. Okay, so what is the meaning of the assets? Assets are the property of your business. आपकी बिजनेस की जो प्रॉपर्टी है उसे हम लोग क्या कहेंगे? Assets. Okay, and what is the meaning of liabilities? Liabilities means the amount which you have to pay to your outsiders. जो आपके आउटसाइडर्स है, जो आपकी थर्ड पार्टीज है, उन्हें जो अमाउंट पे करनी होती है उसे हम लोग क्या कहते हैं? लायबिलिटीज कहते हैं. समझ रहा है? What is the meaning of the assets? Asset is the property of your business. And what is the liabilities? Liabilities means the amount which you have to pay to your outsiders or to your third party. And what is the meaning of the solvent? Solvent is the person whose assets are equal to or more than his liabilities, means he is in the position to pay all his debts. Okay, so take one example by which you can understand this concept of your solvent person. Okay, suppose there is one person and his assets. Okay, so now understand that person's assets, they are having one building of rupees 1 lakh. Then he also having one machinery which market price is rupees 50,000. He also having one motor car which cost is also rupees 50,000. Means what is the meaning of that? The total asset of that person of rupees 2 lakh. Okay, the total assets of that person is rupees 2 lakh. And now understand how much the amount he have to pay to the outsiders. Okay, means how much amount he have to pay the third parties. So suppose these liabilities where he taken bank loan of rupees 50,000, then he have to pay, he also taken loan from Mr. Amol of rupees 30,000. He also having, he have to pay a bank overdraft of rupees 20,000. Okay, समझ रहा है? What's the assets? He having the building of rupees 1 lakh. He having one machinery which market price now is rupees 50,000. He also having one vehicle, his motor car, which market price now is rupees 50,000. Means total property of that Mr. person is rupees 2 lakh. And what he have to pay? He have to pay rupees 50,000 as a bank loan. He have to pay rupees 30,000 to Mr. Amol, and he also have to pay 20,000 of rupees bank overdraft to the bank. So the total amount of liability is 50,000 plus 30,000 plus 20,000 is rupees 1 lakh. समझ रहे हैं? इसका मीनिंग समझ लीजिए. मतलब उसके जो असेट्स है, आज असेट्स में मार्केट में बेचूंगा तो मुझे कितने रुपीस मिलेंगे? 2 लाख रुपीस मिलेंगे. और उसे कितने अमाउंट पे करनी है? 1 लाख रुपीस की अमाउंट पे करनी है. मतलब मैं अगर मार्केट में आज सारी प्रॉपर्टी बेचूंगा तो कितने रुपीस आएंगे? 2 लाख रुपीस. और टोटल लायबिलिटीज कितनी पे करनी है? 1 लाख रुपीस. अगर मेरी प्रॉपर्टी 2 लाख रुपीस की है तो उसमें से 1 लाख रुपीस मैं क्या कर सकता हूँ? इजीली पेड कर सकता हूँ. समझ रहे हैं? सो द पर्सन्स whose assets are more than or equal to his liabilities is known as the solvent. That's why solvent person is always in the position to pay all his debts. 2 लाख रुपीस में से मैं 1 लाख रुपीस जो मुझे बैंक को पे करनी है, जो 30,000 रुपीस मुझे मिस्टर अमर को पेड करनी है, 50,000 रुपीस बैंक लोन को पेड करनी है, बैंक ऑर्डर के 20,000 रुपीस पेड करने, वो सारी चीजें मैं 2 लाख में से पेड कर सकता हूँ. That's why that person is known as the solvent person who is able to pay all his debts. Next concept is insolvent. Okay, insolvent. So this concept of insolvent is totally opposite to the concept of solvent. Okay, insolvent की concept solvent के concept से totally जो है वो different है. So what is the concept of insolvent? Insolvent means the insolvent is the person whose liabilities are more than his assets. That's why that person is not able to pay his all the debts. समझ रहा है? What is the insolvent person? Insolvent person is the person whose liabilities are more than his assets. That's why he is not in the position to pay all his debts. That's why that person is called as the insolvent person. मतलब insolvent person वो person होता है कि जिसकी liabilities जो है वो liabilities assets से ज्यादा होती है, इसलिए वो सब की सारी उसकी जो debts है, जो liabilities है वो pay नहीं कर सकता है. That's why that person is known as the insolvent person. Take one example, then you can understand what is the basic difference between the solvent person and the insolvent person. Okay, so take one example once again. The assets, in this example take one assets of that person. He having one machinery which market price is rupees 40,000. Okay, he also having the furniture of rupees 30,000 and he also having one computer. If you sold right now in the market, so you can get rupees 30,000. Okay. Now, if you make the total of the asset of that particular person, that's 40,000 plus 30,000 plus 30,000, that's rupees 1 lakh. Okay. Means the total assets of that particular person is rupees 1 lakh. So now understand how much liabilities he have to pay. How much liabilities he have to pay. Okay. So now how much liability he have to pay? He have to pay a bank loan of rupees 60,000. Then he also taken loan from Mr. Rohit of rupees 40,000 and he also have to pay bank overdraft of rupees 20,000. Okay, bank overdraft of rupees 20,000. Now make the total of liabilities. He have to pay bank loan of rupees 60,000. Then he have to pay rupees 40,000 to Mr. Rohit and he have to pay rupees 20,000 as a bank overdraft to the bank. So if we make the total of the liability side, then it's become rupees 1,20,000. समझ रहा है? The total of asset is rupees 1 lakh and the total of liabilities is rupees 1,20,000. What is the meaning of that? आज हम मार्केट में जाके उस पर्सन के अगर पूरे असेट्स बेचेंगे तो कितने रुपीस मिलेंगे? 1 लाख रुपीस. और अगर उसके लायबिलिटीज के अगर हम लोग टोटल देखेंगे तो कितनी दिख रही है? 1,20,000. मतलब उसके प्रॉपर्टी 1 लाख रुपीस है और उससे दूसरों को जो अमाउंट पे करनी है वो कितने अमाउंट पे करनी पड़ेगी? 1,20,000. मतलब प्रॉपर्टी बेचने के बाद 1 लाख रुपीस मिलेंगे और कितने अमाउंट पे करनी पड़ेगी? 1,20,000. एंड ऑफ कोर्स वी कैन नॉट पे 1,20,000 फ्रॉम रुपीस 1 लाख. अगर हमारे पास 1 लाख रुपीस है तो हम किसी और को 1,20,000 रुपीस कैसे दे सकते हैं? It's not possible. Means now I am not in the position to pay all my debt. So that's why such kind of the person is known as the insolvent person. समझ रहा है? So understand what is the basic difference between the solvent person and the insolvent person. So who is the solvent person? Solvent person is the person whose assets are more than or equal to all his liability. That's why now he is in the position to pay all his debts. वो सारे के सारे उसके कर्जे रहेंगे, जो liabilities रहेंगी वो पे कर सकता है. And who is the insolvent person? Insolvent person is a person whose liability is now more than his assets. उसके assets से ज्यादा उसकी liabilities है. मतलब now he is not in the position to pay all his liabilities. So that person is known as the insolvent person. That's the basic difference between the concept of your solvent person and the insolvent person. So now understand the next concept, and that's the common concept, that's the expenditure. Expenditure. So what is the meaning of this word expenditure? Expenditure means क्या? खर्चा. समझ रहे? जो हम लोग खर्चा करते हैं उसे हम लोग क्या कहते हैं? Expenditure. So what is the expenditure? Expenditure means the amount spent by the business organization to receive any kind of the consideration for that business. So such kind of the then is called as the expenditure. समझ रहे? The amount spent by the business organization and by which the business organization received any kind of the consideration, it is called as the expenditure. इसे हम लोग क्या कहते हैं? खर्चा. For example, I spent rupees 2 lakh and I brought a motor car for my business. ठीक है, 2 लाख रुपीस का खर्चा हुआ लेकिन मोटर कार बिजनेस में I spent rupees 50,000 and I purchased a computer. मुझे 50,000 रुपीस का खर्चा हुआ, but कंप्यूटर जो है कंप्यूटर मैंने परचेस किया जिसका यूज मैं बिजनेस में कर सकता हूँ. समझ रहे हैं? इसे हम लोग क्या कहेंगे? Expenditure. So basically 3 types of the expenditures are there. So first expenditure is your capital expenditure. Then second expenditure is your revenue expenditure, and the third type of your expenditure, that's your deferred revenue expenditure. समझ रहे? First one capital expenditure, second one revenue expenditure, and last one deferred revenue expenditure. So now understand all these expenditures one by one. So we first start with the capital expenditure. So we start with the first expenditure, and that's your capital expenditure. Capital expenditure. Okay, so what is this capital expenditures? The capital expenditures are such kind of the expenditure which are basically occurred to purchase the fixed assets or increase the value of fixed assets. Okay, what is the capital expenditure? Capital expenditure are those expenditures which are basically occurred to purchase the fixed assets or to increase the value of your fixed assets. Basically, capital expenditures are those expenditures from which we can get the benefit for long period of time, and basically capital expenditures are not recurring in the nature. समझ रहे हैं? What is the capital expenditure? Capital expenditures are those expenditures which basically occur to purchase the fixed assets or increase the value of your fixed assets. फिक्स असेट्स परचेस करने के लिए या फिक्स असेट्स की वैल्यू इंक्रीज करने के लिए जो एक्सपेंडिचर हम लोग करते हैं उसे क्या कहेंगे हम लोग? कैपिटल एक्सपेंडिचर. ओके, एंड द कैपिटल एक्सपेंडिचर्स आर दोज एक्सपेंडिचर फ्रॉम विच your business organization can get the benefit for long period of time. समझ रहे हैं? अगर हम लोग कैपिटल एक्सपेंडिचर करेंगे तो उससे हमें जो आने वाला बेनिफिट है वो बेनिफिट क्या होगा? लॉन्ग पीरियड ऑफ टाइम के लिए होगा, ज्यादा समय के लिए आपको बेनिफिट मिलेगा. एंड व्हाट इज द थर्ड condition of your capital expenditure? Basically capital expenditures are those expenditures which are non recurring in nature. Okay, which are non recurring in the nature. So what is the meaning of this non recurring? Not recurring मतलब जो हम बार बार खर्चे नहीं करते, एक बार ही खर्चा करते, समझ रहे हैं? जो डेली खर्चा नहीं करते और जो बार बार नहीं होता है उसे हम लोग क्या कहते हैं? कैपिटल एक्सपेंडिचर. ओके, सो विद वन एग्जांपल यू कैन इजीली अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट इज द कैपिटल expenditure. What I said, capital expenditure are those expenditures which are basically occurred to purchase the fixed assets. Okay, fixed assets. So now what is the fixed assets? Fixed assets are those assets by which we can get benefit for long period of time. Fixed assets वो assets होते हैं जिससे हमें जो benefit होता है, benefit हमें क्या होता है? Long period of time के लिए होता है. For example, suppose if I purchase a building. Okay, take one example. If I purchase the building, definitely I can use that building for 15 years or for long period of time. Okay, suppose if I purchase the motor van, I can make the use for long period of time. Suppose if I purchase the machinery, this machinery also I use for long period of time. समझ रहे हैं? कैपिटल एक्सपेंडिचर के डेफिनेशन में ही बताया. क्या बताया मैंने? What is the capital expenditure? Capital expenditures are those expenditures from which we can get the benefit for long period of time, and basically such kind of the expenditures are occurred to purchase such kind of the fixed assets. समझ रहे हैं? Fixed assets क्या होते हैं? जो assets fix होते हैं, समझ रहे हैं? जिसका benefit हम लोग 15 years 20 years तक ले सकते हैं, उसे हम लोग क्या कहते हैं? Fixed asset. For example, if I purchase the building for my business, so definitely I can make the use of that building for 15 years, 20 years. If I purchase the motor van, I can use that motor van for 9 years, 10 years. If I purchase the machinery and suppose the life of that particular machinery is of 10 years, so I can use that machinery for 10 years. Okay, what are the examples of the fixed asset? Suppose I purchase the furniture. Definitely I can use that furniture for 10 years, 15 years. Okay, all such kind of the things comes under the category of the fixed asset. Suppose if I purchase one computer, okay, then I am going to use that computer for 10 years, 15 years. Okay, और इस तरह के सब fixed assets purchase करने के लिए जो हम लोग expenditure करते हैं उसे क्या कहते हैं? Capital expenditure. Okay, अब हम लोग वो definition है, वो definition is fixed assets के साथ हम लोग क्या करते हैं? Match करके देखते हैं. सो मैंने आपको क्या बताया था, कैपिटल एक्सपेंडिचर्स आर दोज एक्सपेंडिचर्स व्हिच आर बेसिकली ऑकर्ड टू परचेज द फिक्स्ड एसेट्स. मतलब इफ आई परचेज द बिल्डिंग, if I purchase the motor van, if I purchase the machinery, furniture or computer, all these are the fixed assets. So if I make the expenditure to purchase all these fixed assets, it is called as the capital expenditure. Okay, what else to say? Capital expenditures are those expenditures by which you can increase the value of your fixed assets. अगर आपकी fixed assets की value में अगर आप लोग increase करते हैं, it's also known as the capital expenditure. So take one example. Suppose right now I am having one building of 5th floor. Suppose, okay, I purchased one building of 5th floor for my business, and now I add one extra floor to my building, and that's why the total number of floors of my building becomes 6. समझ रहा है? एक फ्लोर जो है मैंने बिल्डिंग के ऊपर और एक बनाया. पहले बिल्डिंग कितनी फ्लोर की थी? So 5 फ्लोर की थी. उसके ऊपर मैंने क्या किया, एक एक्स्ट्रा जो फ्लोर है वो एक्स्ट्रा फ्लोर उस पे मैंने जो है उस पे इंक्रीज किया. तो टोटल फ्लोर कितने बने? 6. If the floor is increased, so definitely the value of my building is also increased. So such kind of the expenditure comes under the category of your capital expenditure. Then what? The capital expenditures are those expenditure from which we get the benefit for long period of time. Or if you take the building, motor van, machinery, furniture or computer, all these things are comes under the category of the fixed assets, and definitely we make the use of such kind of the fixed assets for long period of time. Okay, and what is the last thing? Capital expenditures are those expenditures which are basically non-recurring in the nature. What is the meaning of non-recurring? Non-recurring means not repetitive. Okay, building, motor van, machinery, ये रोज हम खरीद नहीं सकते, समझ रहे? ये डेली की चीजें नहीं. कैसे नहीं हो सकता कि आज मैंने एक मशीनरी परचेस की, उसके बाद बेची, लेकिन दूसरे दिन दूसरी खरीदी की, आज बिल्डिंग परचेस की, लेकिन मोटर वैन परचेस की. समझ रहे? ये नॉन रिकरिंग नेचर के. एक बार अगर मैंने मोटर वैन परचेस की, so I definitely use for 5 to 6 years. If once I purchase the machinery, definitely I am going to use that machinery up to his life. Once again, if I purchase the building, I am going to make the use of that building for 15, 20, 30 years, depend on his estimated life. समझ रहे? Means all such kind of expenses are not recurring in the nature. Okay, so समझ रहे? What is the capital expenditure? Capital expenditures are those expenditures which basically occur to purchase the fixed asset. That's why we make the use of these fixed assets for long period of time, and such kind of the expenditures are basically non-recurring in the nature. So now understand next concept of your expenditure, and that's revenue expenditure. That's your revenue expenditure. Okay, so now what is the revenue expenditure? Revenue expenditures are those expenditures from which we does not expected the long-term benefit. But definitely because of this revenue expenditure we can get immediate or short-term benefit, means we can get benefit for less than 1 year, and the revenue expenditures are those expenditures from which we cannot increase our earning capacity. In short, revenue expenditures are those expenditures which are occur when we perform our day-to-day business activities. हमारे डे टू डे बिजनेस एक्टिविटीज करते समय जो एक्सपेंडिचर्स होते हैं उसे हम लोग क्या कहते हैं? रेवेन्यू एक्सपेंडिचर्स. ओके, एंड द रेवेन्यू एक्सपेंडिचर्स आर दोस एक्सपेंडिचर्स फ्रॉम व्हिच वी कैन नॉट गेट बेनिफिट मोर देन अ ईयर. एक साल से ज्यादा हमें इसमें बेनिफिट नहीं मिलता है. ओके, रेवेन्यू एक्सपेंडिचर से हमारी अर्निंग कैपेसिटी भी इंक्रीज नहीं हो सकती, लेकिन डे टू डे बिजनेस एक्टिविटीज में जो हम लोग खर्चा करते हैं उसे हम लोग क्या कहते हैं? इट इज कॉल्ड एज द रेवेन्यू एक्सपेंडिचर. फॉर एग्जांपल, सपोज rent paid. Okay, rent paid. Suppose we taken one building on the rent, so we have to pay rent monthly. So it comes under the category of your revenue expenditures. Then salary paid. Okay, when we paid salary to our staff or to our employee, we paid salary on the monthly basis. So it also comes under the category of your revenue expenditure. Suppose I paid wages. ओके, वेजेस का मीनिंग समझ रहे? वेजेस मींस क्या होता है कि सपोज इफ आई परचेज द मशीनरी, मैंने मशीनरी परचेज की और वो मशीनरी मेरे ऑफिस तक या मेरी फैक्ट्री तक लाने के लिए जो 2-4 मजदूर आए थे उसे मैंने क्या किए? थोड़े से पैसे दिए. तो इस कम्स अंडर द कैटेगरी ऑफ योर वेजेस. ओके, देन प्रिंटिंग एंड स्टेशनरी. ओके, प्रिंटिंग एंड स्टेशनरी in your office you require papers, staplers, all these things comes under the category of printing stationery. समझ रहे हैं? So what is the basic difference between the capital expenditure and the revenue expenditure? What happens in the case of revenue expenditures? Revenue expenditures are those expenditures from which we cannot expect long term benefit. Okay, इससे हमें long term benefit नहीं मिलता है. Suppose if I purchase the printing and stationery, if I purchase the papers for my office, if I purchase pens, pencils, इरेजर्स फॉर माय ऑफिस, तो मैं कब तक उसका यूज कर सकता हूं? ओके, लॉन्ग टर्म उसका यूज नहीं हो सकता है. तो ओके, और दूसरा क्या बताया? रेवेन्यू एक्सपेंडिचर्स आर दोस एक्सपेंडिचर बाय व्हिच यू कैन नॉट इंक्रीज योर अर्निंग कैपेसिटी. आपकी अर्निंग कैपेसिटी भी इंक्रीज नहीं होती. समझ रहे हैं? सो रेंट पेड, सैलरी पेड, वेजेस, प्रिंटिंग एंड स्टेशनरी, ऑल दिस थिंग्स कम्स अंडर द कैटेगरी ऑफ डे टू डे बिजनेस एक्टिविटीज. ये सारी जो चीजें वो हमारे डे टू डे बिजनेस एक्टिविटीज के अंदर आती है. तो उसे हम लोग क्या कहते हैं? रेवेन्यू एक्सपेंडिचर. Okay, once again understand what is the revenue expenditures? Revenue expenditures are those expenditures from which we cannot get benefit for long period of time. या rent paid कर रहे हैं, salary paid कर रहे हैं, wages paid कर रहे हैं, printing and stationery purchase कर रहे हैं, इससे हमें long term benefit नहीं होता है. And you also cannot increase your profit earning capacity with such kind of the expenses. So in short, आप कैसे याद रखते हैं? So what is the revenue expenditures? Revenue expenditures are those expenditures which are occurred when you perform the business activities. In short, these revenue expenditures are basically your day-to-day business activities expenditures. So now understand the next concept under the expenditure, and that's your deferred revenue. Deferred revenue expenditure. So now understand what is your deferred revenue expenditures. Deferred revenue expenditures are such kind of the expenditures which are basically revenue in the nature, but you get the benefit for more than a year. What is the revenue expenditures? Revenue expenditures are those expenditures in which you get the benefit less than a year. लेकिन what happens in the case of deferred revenue expenditures? Deferred revenue expenditures are those expenditures which are basically revenue in the nature, but you can get the benefit for more than a year. Okay, so that's why such kind of the expenditures we have to write off year by year. Okay, take one example, then you can understand what's this deferred revenue expenditure. For example, advertisement. For example, advertisement. Okay, when you run the business organization, advertisement is a very important aspect of your business. Okay, suppose if you produce a very effective product, but you are not able to reach your product on the ground level, or if you are not able to reach your product to the customers, it's meaningless. Okay, that's why what we do, we perform the advertisement. समझ रहे हैं? Advertisement is very important to make the marketing of your products. With the help of the advertisement, you can reach your product to the end user. Who is the end user? Means to your customer. For example, suppose there is one agency, okay, and you pay rupees 50,000. You paid rupees 50,000 to that agency, and he will make the advertisement for your business for 5 years. ओके, सपोज एक एजेंसी है, उसको आपने कितने रुपीस पे किए? यू पेड रुपीस 50,000. आपने उन्हें 50,000 रुपीस पेड किए हैं, और वो क्या करेंगे? 5 साल के लिए आपकी जो प्रोडक्ट है, आपकी जो कंपनी है, आपका जो बिजनेस है, उसकी क्या करेंगे? एडवर्टाइजमेंट करेंगे. समझ रहे हैं? व्हाट इज द एग्जांपल? यू पेड रुपीस 50,000 टू पर्टिकुलर एजेंसी, एंड दे विल मेक द एडवर्टाइजमेंट ऑफ योर प्रोडक्ट फॉर 5 इयर्स. आने वाले 5 साल के लिए वो क्या करेंगे? एडवर्टाइजमेंट करेंगे. लेकिन मुझे आपको क्या कहा था? इन द डेफर्ड रेवेन्यू एक्सपेंडिचर वी आर गोइंग टू राइट ऑफ दैट अमाउंट ईयर बाय ईयर. हर साल हम लोग क्या करेंगे? उसकी अमाउंट कम करते जाएंगे. सो ऑलरेडी you paid 50,000 rupees in the advance. That's why this 50,000 you actually paid, it's your assets. Okay, it comes under the category of your assets. Why? Because you make this payment in the advance. आज आपने 50,000 रुपीस पेड किए हैं, लेकिन आपके एडजस्ट जो एडवर्टाइजमेंट होगी वो अगले 5 साल के लिए होगी. मतलब I paid that 50,000 rupees in advance. That's why it comes under the category of the assets. So now what happens? Year by year we are going to write off that advertisement year by year. Suppose if I paid rupees 50,000 for the advertisement for 5 years, when actually there is an expenditure of rupees 10,000 per year. समझ रहे हैं? अगर 50,000 रुपीज मैं 5 साल के लिए पेड कर रहा हूं, इसका मतलब क्या है? आई विद द एक्सपेंडिचर ऑफ रुपीज 10,000 पर ईयर. हर एक साल मुझे 10,000 रुपीज का एक्सपेंडिचर होगा. सो हम लोग इसे अकाउंटिंग में कैसे ट्रीटमेंट करेंगे? सो इन द फर्स्ट ईयर I show the expenditure of rupees 10,000. मैं खर्चा दिखाऊंगा 10,000 रुपीज मेरे बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स में, और फिर क्या करूंगा? 10,000 रुपीज जो है वो असेट से भी राइट ऑफ करूंगा. ओके, देन आई विल शो रुपीज 40,000 as an advertisement in the asset side. Okay, after next year once again I show 10,000 रुपीज एक्सपेंडिचर ऑन द एडवर्टाइजमेंट, और फिर क्या करूंगा? 18,000 फिर से मैं लेस करूंगा, और मेरे बैलेंस शीट के असेट साइड में फिर से एडवर्टाइजमेंट के लिए कितना दिखाऊंगा? 30,000 रुपीज दिखाऊंगा. इन द नेक्स्ट ईयर वंस अगेन आई शो द एक्सपेंडिचर ऑन द एडवर्टाइजमेंट दैट रुपीज 10,000, और फिर से मैं क्या करूंगा? 10,000 रुपीज से एडवर्टाइजमेंट कम करते जाऊंगा, और उसे क्या करूंगा? 20,000 रुपीज. Okay, so what I already told, what is the deferred revenue expenditures? Deferred revenue expenditures are those expenditures which are revenue in the nature. Revenue मतलब our day to day business activities के expenditure दिखा रहा हो, लेकिन you get the benefit for more than a year. मतलब अपने 50,000 रुपीस के एडवर्टाइजमेंट पे खर्चा किया, but you receive the benefit for 5 years. That's why it is called as the deferred revenue expenditure, and year by year you are going to write off that amount. ये जो 10,000 रुपीस आप खर्चा दिखा रहे हो, और 10,000 रुपीस आप असेट से जो कम कर रहे हैं, उसे हम लोग क्या कहते हैं? राइट ऑफ करना. राइट ऑफ मींस निकाल दो, उसे निकाल दो, राइट ऑफ करना. So that's why the advertisement is a very good example of the deferred revenue expenditure. समझ रहे हैं? So once again understand what is the basic difference between the capital expenditure, revenue expenditure and deferred revenue expenditure. Okay, what happens in the case of capital expenditure? The expenditures which you are occurred to purchase the fixed assets are called as the capital expenditure, and what happens in the capital expenditure? You get the benefit for a long period of time. And what happens in the revenue expenditure? You get the benefit for less than a year. And what happens in the case of deferred revenue expenditure? It's actually revenue in the nature, but you get the benefit for more than a year. That's the basic difference between the capital expenditure, deferred revenue expenditures and the revenue expenditures. In the capital expenditures आपको 10-15 साल के बेनिफिट होंगे. What happens in the revenue expenditure? 1 साल से कम बेनिफिट होगा. And what happens in the deferred revenue expenditure? Because these expenditures are basically revenue in the nature. Revenue means day to day business activities वाला एक्सपेंडिचर है. एडवर्टाइजमेंट ऐसे नहीं कि आपको 15 साल 20 साल तक उसका बेनिफिट होगा. ओके, समझ रहे हैं? So that's why it's called as the deferred revenue expenditures, which are basically revenue in the nature, but you will get the benefit for more than a year. That's the basic difference between the capital expenditure, revenue expenditure, and in the deferred revenue expenditure. So take another examples by which you can understand this concept of deferred revenue. Suppose rent paid in advance. Rent paid in advance. Okay, we actually paid the rent in advance. So actually what happens? You have to pay rupees 2,000 rent as a per month. How much you paid? Rupees rent 2,000 per month. Okay, but you actually paid this rent for 24 months. Means you paid the rent of rupees 48,000 right now. Okay, what happens? Rent paid in advance. What exactly happens in this example? We paid the 2,000 rupees per month rent for 24 months. 24 months is for the 2 years. Okay, समझ रहे हैं? So rent paid it comes under the category of your revenue expenditure, but you get the benefit for 2 years. Okay, means what? The rent paid it comes under the category of revenue expenditure. Rent paid, salary paid, wages paid, all these things comes under the category of your revenue expenditure. But what is the norm of your revenue expenditure? If revenue expenditure is there, then you get benefit for less than a year. But what happens in this example? You get the benefit for 2 years. Means what? You get the benefit for more than a year. That's why rent paid in advance it comes under the category of your deferred revenue expenditure. Okay, take another example. Suppose paid internet charges, paid internet charges for 2 years. Okay, nowadays various offers are there. Okay, and out of this offer you received one offer and you paid the internet charges for 2 years. Means right now you paid the amount but you get the benefit for 2 years. Okay, so internet charges paid, it also comes under the category of your revenue expenditure, but you get the benefit for more than a year. So that's why it also comes under the category of the deferred revenue expenditure. Okay, so these are the basic difference between the deferred revenue expenditure and the revenue expenditure. Okay, what happens in the case of revenue expenditure? In the revenue expenditure you get the benefit within a year, and what happens in the case of deferred revenue expenditure? The expenditures which are basically revenue in the nature, but you get the benefit for more than the year. Okay, so today we learn the concept of bad debts, capital expenditure, revenue expenditure, deferred revenue expenditure, solvent person and the insolvent person. Okay, so I hope you understood all these concepts. So see you tomorrow with the next lecture. Thank you so much.